We are live. All right. Good morning, everyone. Welcome back to another episode of Ask a Clutter Boss. I am Jess Marcy. I am your Clutter Boss for today, and I'm so excited to join you once again and stand on my soapbox and talk all about clutter. Truly, though, I am so excited to be here. I am really grateful for everybody who tunes in each week and listens live and listens on replay. You guys are awesome, and you keep this whole channel and content going. So thank you so much. It has snowed in Middle Tennessee. Wow, that is awesome. We also have snow. You can kind of see it out the window actually, and pretty exciting about that. Pretty excited about that. I hate it when we get to the holidays and there's no snow because I am a New Yorker through and through. So Northeast weather means there should be snow at the holidays. Good morning, Denise and Susan, Sandra, Linda, Madonna, Mary, multiple Marys. It's a multiple Mary morning. Good morning. Okay, so we have two questions / topics to talk about today. And the first one is about, I covered up my sheet here. The first one is stuff that belongs to your kids, taking up all sorts of spaces in your house. And adult kids is what we're talking about here. So I tend to, historically, I have worked with many people who are in a period of transition with their children moving out of their houses. And as if you have kids who have moved out or know anybody who has kids who have moved out, you know that this is not a short transition. This is an ongoing, long, could be many years transition. And in this period of time, you have all your kids' stuff from when they were growing up, and then they move back in, they move out, they move in, they move out. And your house just continues to accumulate more of your children's stuff. But you hang on to it because young adults don't typically have a lot of resources for purchasing furniture, furnishing apartments. Usually, they're working really hard. They're not saving too much. And it feels like such a waste to get rid of their stuff because they might need it someday. And so your garage, your attic, your basement, your kids' bedrooms, they just accumulate and continue to accumulate more stuff. And there's not a whole lot going out. At some point, your kids get married and you still have so much of their stuff in your house. Who can relate to this? Good morning, Mitzi. Good morning, Terry. Good morning, Marie and Carrie. Actually, Marie, I'm so glad that you're here. Coach Marie is here. And Marie is somebody who, when we started working together, this was very much her situation. 3 adult kids. COVID had just happened. So, of course, during COVID, it exacerbated the situation because everyone came home and more stuff came home. Colleges, your kids' college path may have gotten derailed because of COVID. And so everything kind of just got worse, right? Got worse. So something that Marie said recently, because we worked through this issue with Marie when she started in Clutter Boss Academy for a couple of years. We talked about it. We, kind of did the pros and the cons. Marie talks to her children. And something that I very recently heard Marie say that has really stuck with me is if you have all of your kids' stuff in your house and they're minimalists, so they like a minimalist aesthetic. You go to their apartments, it's all, very clean looking. There's not a whole lot of stuff. They're not really minimalists if they're storing all of their stuff at your house. And I thought that was a really good point. So Marie, thank you for saying that recently. I don't remember where I heard you say that, but if you have all of your kids' stuff, it is really, and they are adults. And this actually goes for if your kids are living with you or not living with you. It is time to talk to them adult to adult and have a plan about what is going to happen with this stuff. Just have a conversation and have a plan. Now, before you have that conversation, I want you also to think about how you're going to react to what they have to say. So a lot of times I have heard the children, the young adults in the conversation saying they really are not interested in any of this stuff. And the parent is holding on tight, but it'll save you money, but you're not making a rational decision. But. Okay, so the truth is we don't live in the same world that we used to live in. We have access to so much more stuff, big stuff, furniture, things like that, that is so much less expensive. And I mean, without judgment, our children are being raised in a world where they like to get new stuff frequently. That is what is marketed to all of us all the time. It has been their life since birth. It is just different than what it was like when we were growing up. And I think as a mom, I look at my kids and I'm like, "Oh my gosh, you're buying new stuff again. You're spending your money on this." Like, I feel inside judgy, but that's not moving the conversation forward at all. If your adult children do not want the stuff that you are saving for them in your house, it is time to really be honest with yourself. Why is this stuff here? Is it because I'm holding on to it? Um, is there a way that I can let this go and feel okay about it? Can it go to a homeless shelter? Can it be passed on to somebody in need? Um, can we, I feel like it's important to listen to what your kids are saying. If they say they don't want the stuff, they don't want the stuff. And then because they're adults and it is their stuff, it is also important that they participate in letting go of it. So I don't believe that the whole burden of cleaning out stuff that you're hanging on to for other people should fall on you. I think it should be at least group decision making. Um, Talk to your kids, determine exactly, specifically, what, if anything, they want to keep. If you feel very strongly about something, like they should hang on to this because they might change their mind when they get married and have kids, then just know that you're the person who's choosing to keep that and not them. And that's okay, but that's not on them anymore. Now that's on you. Is this making sense so far? Are we kind of on the same page of understanding, at least? I'll just wait a second for the comments here. Once you actually have this conversation with your kids, your house is supposed to be a house, not a storage unit. And yes, there is some gray area there, some leeway to store a few things because it doesn't make sense for your children to be paying for a storage unit. But if you feel like your house is more storage unit than house, then it is definitely time to move stuff out and make it a home again. Make it a home again. You do not deserve to be living in a storage unit. So once you have this conversation with your kids, make a plan. What are we going to do? How are we going to move through this? And how much space am I actually willing to devote to storing your stuff and for how much longer? So maybe you have a bedroom in your house that you're okay storing your kids' stuff for the next couple of years. Know that, like, this is our defined amount of space for this specific collection, and this is the timeline that goes with this collection. So have it very explicitly stated so that everyone is on the same page about all of this stuff, right? Talk it out. Try to remove judgment from the equation. Understand that your children have been raised in a world that is so different than the world that we were raised in, not by any fault of your own or their own. It just is what it is. It's a different world. And we all have to figure out a new way to live within this world when it comes to our stuff and our relationship to our stuff, our relationship to our children, our relationship to our children's stuff. But at the end of the day, your home should be a home and not a storage unit. And it is okay to have a little bit of storage if it is defined and that is what you're choosing to use that space for. But define that space and ruthlessly work to make your house a home. Oh, Marie, amazing. My daughter is coming to take stuff from her former room. I love this. Good morning, Kesey. Good morning. All right. So the next topic that we have today, and this came in the form of a couple of different questions, but I'm going to kind of roll it all together and talk about it as one topic. And it's the topic of I'm really tired. I'm really exhausted. I come home and look at my clutter. I'm feeling really overwhelmed. And in another question, it was I'm just not happy. This clutter is exhausting and I'm just not happy. So I want us to talk about happiness, clutter, and exhaustion. I feel like they're all really connected. A lot of studies have shown Well, and of course, we all know the old phrase, right? You can't buy happiness. You can't buy happiness. I think in our hearts, we know this. We cannot buy happiness. Yes, we can purchase things that can make our lives a little bit easier. Yes, we can make purchases that will make us happy, but overall, happiness has to come from within first and foremost. When we have a lot of clutter in our homes, we tend to get into a state of being where we're really shutting down and feeling extremely overwhelmed, and we're not able to spend time doing things that actually make us happy, engaging in activities that will contribute to our happiness. So we're creating an environment where happiness is harder to come by because there's no space for doing stuff that we love inside of our homes. And in fact, not only is there no space, but it's super overwhelming. And so we're feeling just dragged down every day by this. The connection between clutter and happiness is complicated and very deep. This goes very deep. At the same time, when you have a lot of clutter in your house, oftentimes that comes with physical and emotional and mental symptoms. So, because you're feeling overwhelmed, you're feeling stressed. And because you're feeling stressed, then that creates a chronic low grade inflammation in your body. And chronic low grade inflammation contributes to mental and physical, well, lack of well being. It makes us sick. And there is such a clear line between clutter and health. And it is so frustrating to me, so frustrating that the medical profession as a whole never asks about the safety of your living environment until A, it becomes an issue of getting medical equipment in there, or B, it becomes so cluttered that there's code enforcement issues, but nobody leading up to this point talks to you about your living environment, which is one of the biggest sources of stress or peace that we have, period. We come home every single day. Are we coming home to stress, or are we coming home to calm and peace? This is a huge, huge contributor to our physical, mental, and emotional health. And no doctor is talking about this. No therapist is talking about this. I mean, maybe a few here and there, but they are few and far between. I look at these questionnaires that doctors give. Nothing says, "Is your house cluttered?" Nothing. Nothing. They say, "Are you safe?" Like, "Are you a victim of domestic violence?" They don't say, "Are you safe in your environment? Are you overwhelmed by your environment? Is your environment causing you stress?" So I just bring this up. We talk about this extensively during Clutter Boot Camp, this connection between our physical, emotional, and mental health and our living environment and clutter. Right now, we are seeing more ads than we will see this whole entire year just in this period of time between Thanksgiving and Christmas or Hanukkah. It is just, it is insane. We are being sold this idea that we just need to buy more stuff to create a joyous holiday season. We need to buy more stuff to have something to give to somebody else. We just need to bring more stuff into our homes, and more stuff is not going to equal more happiness. In fact, it's really clear to me that it is most likely going to result in more overwhelm. So I really want to encourage you, as you're thinking about decluttering, as you're thinking about gift giving, as you're thinking about why am I so exhausted? There's so many contributing factors, but clutter is a huge one. And if you are too tired or don't have enough time to declutter, it is a situation that is going to get exacerbated, get worse and worse and worse. The more you wait to declutter, the longer you wait, the harder it becomes. So if you can just find that little bit, that 5 minutes every day, 10 minutes every day, start to release from your life the things that are no longer serving you. Start to create just one small space in your house that is peaceful, that is going to actually make you feel better pretty quickly. And if you don't do that, then it is going to be contributing to your stress. It's either adding to your stress or adding to your peace. So let's take this path that adds to our peace because you deserve a home that you love. You deserve to come home and be able to relax. There's a lot of crap going on in the world all the time, all the time. Things are stressful. You deserve to have peace in your house. And if that means letting go of stuff that no longer serves you, let it go. Let it go. It is okay because you deserve to have that peace. You deserve to have space to do things that make you happy. And you deserve to have just that mental deep breath every day when you walk through the door. Create that space for yourself. It is a little bit of decluttering, and it is also not bringing more stuff in. So there's the two things. We have two levers when it comes to clutter. Stop the flow in, increase the flow out. Both of them are important. Both are important. Do them together and see how the change can start to take place. All right. Lots of comments here. Let's see. Seasonal transitional living. Yes. They're born and raised and live in our homes for a season. Yep. Time to move to transition. Absolutely. And I totally agree with this comment when it comes circling back to raising children. It is teaching children to live within the confines of their space. So there are parameters that we all have to live within. How much space do we have? How much money do we have? How much time do we have? These parameters are all unique to us. We all have a different amount of space, time, and money than somebody else. Learning to identify how much you actually have financially with your time and with your space is a really important skill. And it's something that we don't necessarily teach our children. And probably we were never taught it. That's why we're here. We had to learn the hard way, which is okay. There's nothing wrong with learning the hard way. But even talking about how much space do you have is really important. How much time do you have? How much money do you have? I mean, you would think that that would be a pretty straightforward thing. It's really not, though, because credit cards and, borrowing money. I mean, knowing how much money you actually have is a really important skill. Just like knowing how much space you actually have, really important skill. And Terry, yeah, 5 minutes really does matter. 5 minutes counts. 5 minutes is huge. If you can do something in 5 minutes or less, do not wait to do it. Do it immediately. The 5-minute rule, I love it. All right, I'm going to go ahead and wrap up. It's been so nice being here with you all today. Thank you again for joining us live or joining on replay. If you feel like supporting our small business, like, comment, share, follow this channel. That all really does matter and it really does help. Thank you so much. And I will see you next week, same time and same place during our next episode of Ask a Clutter Boss. Bye for now, everyone.